Well, I want to say I agree. I have a question for Marvo, but I also just have a. I agree with everybody. What everybody's saying. I think maturity comes a lot into it with the man when he's dealing with a grown woman. And I'll just go by just some of my experiences. I've always liked older men, so
What?
I've I've always dated older men. So they were always, I don't know,
How
they just
old?
always understood me. So around that time of the month or whatever, no arguments or anything. Like maybe the first couple months or whatever, I might be irritable or something, but then it's like smooth sailing. And it wasn't until about a few years ago, the first time I dated a guy that was probably my age, which is still young for me. And it was around that time. I don't, sometimes a lot of women, we don't realize that we are in that state of mind when we're in that state of mind. When it's that time of the month, we might be thinking about the cramps and the demeanor. We just don't know until the guy says something or point it out, or until we sit back and be like, damn, like you irritable. Like, so we have to find out ourselves sometimes. So it wasn't until I dated a guy that was my age and just being my normal self around that time, that motherfucker barked at me. He was like, "What the fuck wrong with you?" And I looked at this motherfucker like, dude, I've been telling you for the last 2 days. I got a headache, my back hurt, my stomach hurt, and you want to argue with me because you tired of me being irritated and laying in the bed? Like I've never heard of that shit in my life because I was always dating an older guy. Now that this guy my age, well, I got feelings too, and you walking around and you just want to be in the bed. And in my mind, I was like, I'm not about to argue with this dude about this shit because we about to tear this house up because I'm already like on 10 and you mad at me because I'm irritated. Make it make sense. I think it's maturity. So when men get mad at women, or like when Viz just said, "Well, how do you know what's in his mind? When what are you trying to figure out what's going on?" I ain't trying to figure out what's in his head when I'm cramping. You know what I'm saying? So then I get
There
back
we
in the
go.
relationship. Hold on,
There we
no, let me
go.
finish. So now I
There
get
we
in the
go.
relationship
Tell the
with an older
truth.
guy again. I get in a relationship with an older guy again. Same thing, nothing. And then one day I just started seeing. So I'm like, why is it every time around that you just know, like he just knew, like chocolate snacks not bothering me. He leave the room, he watched football somewhere else. It was like we just had a flow. And then one day I saw him looking in his calendar or whatever, and I saw his calendar. He had my period cycle, he had my attitude, like he had all that shit in there. He's a
What?
military guy, older. And one day I was like, what the hell? He was like, He was like, we get along because of this calendar. And I was like, how nigga, like, because that's why I like older men. Because I ain't got me and younger guys or immature ones. We gonna argue and we never gonna get along because I'm not about to explain to you why I feel this way right now. And this is every month. And every month you want to have you want your feelings stroked. You gotta understand as a man that at that point in time you need to love me through that because you're not making it no better. So as far as Marvo, your video, you're saying these things about those women. You're saying these things about your women, and you're saying I can't sit in that and things like that. So, at what point did you realize, with that mindset, that because you grew up that way, not being able to sit in a woman yapping or whatever you guys want to call it, at what point did you realize that you lost a woman's emotions, and all she had was just her physical there for you?
Well, I mean, my situation is a real onion. So it ain't I didn't lose her because I per se didn't sit with her. Now that probably made her feel like I didn't care. But I don't know if I speak on my situation. It's a real onion. Ask me that question again so I can hit it dead on because I don't want to get into my
Well,
situation because
no.
it's deep.
Well, you were talking in general about when a woman's emotions, a woman is led by emotions, a woman's gonna, her feelings, everything about her emotionally is going to leave that man before she physically does, which is very true. What I'm saying
Yeah.
to you is that something that you read, or is it something that you realize in your experience? She gone.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying? She ain't
no, no,
feeling me
no,
like that no more. You
no,
know?
no. Listen, y'all about to laugh. Man, I just grew up in January. I'm about to be 39. You know what I'm saying? Next year. No, for real. I've been a mature in the sense of a man who works and provides. but not mature in a relationship. But I figured because I was unhealed myself, and I went through stuff with my lady, so it ain't been perfect on both sides. I couldn't respond to her in the way she needed me to respond because she hurt me, and because she didn't give me a level of security, I could never open back up to her, which caused her, which caused me to stay over here, and which eventually pushed her over here where she died. But she had died on me before. Listen, I need y'all to understand. 14-year relationship. She died on me before and stayed dead to me 5 years. She came back, want to put the family together. I didn't trust her, but I wanted my family, wanted kids. So while I was there, I didn't get the truth I needed from what occurred in the past. So I kept one foot in, one foot out. And I was now me going through the situation. I know as a man, if I wasn't gonna do right all the way, I shouldn't have got back in the situation. That's me learning now, but uh, and that's the basis of that. As far as the emotional part and what I learned about how to sit with a woman and her emotion, I just learned it maybe last week from reading the book. But no, I'm serious because I've always ran from that. Like I could literally not be there because I couldn't handle it. So emotionally I wasn't mature, and actually what we call emotionally mature is actually emotional intelligence. I didn't have the knowledge. It's not maturity, it's just the knowledge. And the men you deal with have the knowledge because they got the experience of dealing with women. And they had to bump their head. See, I had to bump my head and lose my family at the age 38 to learn this shit. You understand what I'm saying? To learn that if you ain't gonna be all the way right, then don't get back in it. It's a lot of lessons. I had to get back on my guy walk. I mean, it's a lot of stuff I had to come to. I just became a man in the sense of a man for my family.
You have
So
to
and just to
give
get,
yourself grace.
yeah, no,
Because
I
you have
have,
to realize you didn't cause that. A lot of men have to realize, especially when you're dealing with a parent, a mother, because I
yeah,
have to warn some of my friends who are single mothers. Like, you putting too much pressure on them kids. That is not for that kid to be dealing with. You are emotionally overwhelming this kid. You supposed to be praying to God. Why is you telling this kid, like, that's why he said, have you seen your mother cry? Because mothers
yeah,
who emotionally know who they are, being around your kid with that, and then he going into high school and now he got his girlfriend plus your emotions, and then they never, like, you never got any peace. You know what I'm saying? You have to understand that it's not all on you. And I feel like, I'm not gonna say it's just single mothers because it's women, it could be bogus wives. You know what I'm saying? But the reason why I'm using single mothers is as an example, because like when Hink said, when his mother left, he was 10 years old enduring all that emotion. You know what I'm saying?